Welcome back to the production area of the truck. We've done a lot of work in here for the past month. We pulled out every single cable. There was a lot of cable, several hundred pounds of cable. Probably most of it was probably audio cable. This used to be an old analog audio truck, and also BNC, tons of BNC. Ethernet was everywhere. They only had looked like one switch in this whole entire truck, so every single thing with an Ethernet cable had to be routed back to the back main rack. So several hundred pounds of cable were taken out. Every single piece of equipment, just except for a few. We have a few pieces of equipment still left in here that we're planning on keeping, and I didn't want to take out, just didn't want to have to redo it. So all the equipment's been taken out as well. The front desk was taken out where the switcher panel was. That's going to have to be redone because there was a big hole in it. Same with the back desk where the shader panels were. That's been taken out. We're in the process of redoing those tables just with some black laminate. We're going to install them. Had to put some supports and redo some of that as well. But overall, the truck build's going pretty good. So just to give you some updates on the plans of what we're going to do from here on with the truck. So this is P1. This is our production room 1. Production row 1, I mean. Up here we'll have 3 different positions. We'll have a technical director, and a producer position. This director position will probably be one person. It'll probably be a director and a technical director, but we have spots to do 3 people up here. This far right area will be our producer position. We run things a little bit differently in the truck, so this will also be where our expression graphics system is. Our producer will be running that along with a remote operator in the very back. So there'll be 2 monitors here, 27-inch, 24-inch monitors, computer monitors here, stacked on top of each other. On this side, we're looking at probably doing 4 big 43-inch monitors for our 4 main multi-views. All this is kind of still in theory, so this may not turn out exactly what I'm talking about, but it should be pretty close. There'll be a table that goes here. Obviously, this is just a support bracket for the table to be, so we can actually put some weight on it. These tables had to be taken out, the front and the back, because they both had holes in it. One for the switcher panel up here and one for the shader racks in the back. This is our I/O panel back here. We will use it for all the I/O for the truck. There is really only one place to plug into the truck. There's a couple cubby holes that you can come in as well, but we'll use that for all the I/O, for our fiber connections, video connections, audio connections, all that kind of stuff. Equipment wise, there's not really anything up here. It's really hard to get to the back of those racks, so we're going to keep that pretty clear of equipment. It's going to be mainly monitors, blank panels, and wires in the bottom. Okay, this is P2. This is our production row 2. In this row will be replay. So we'll have 2 replay operator stations. Both will be ran by an Abacus Mira. It'll be 1 unit, 1 server, 2 controllers. It's a 6 in, 2 out system. So, or really 8-channel system. It can be configured, but we'll run it as 6 in, 2 out. We'll also have a 3-play here as a backup extra 4 input replay station as well. This top section up here is really mainly going to be used for storage. This truck was a older analog truck built in 2007, so there was a lot of equipment back then. Nowadays things have gone digital and there's just not much need for so much rack space. So a lot of this is just going to turn into really storage and rack drawers. Let's go back to the last row, P3. So now we're in the back P3. This is where a lot of the equipment used to be. So if you see down here in the bottom, there's maybe 6 or 7 cables left. If you look at the video before, there were several hundred pounds of BNC, of audio cable, Ethernet, just a ton of stuff that we ripped out. So it's back to the guts. So plan in here is gonna be the majority of our actual equipment. So this first rack is called Rack 4. We may do some relabeling. Right now it's Rack 4. Rack 4 is going to be our main equipment rack. So you'll see it's the only rack that full top to bottom. It's 40, I believe 45U. It'll be all the main equipment for the truck. So our switcher, router, fiber patch panels, fiber converters, any of that kind of stuff is going to go in Rack 4. This will also give us enough rack space to be able to split some things out, get some airflow in it, so it'll be okay for long running times and getting too hot. This Rack 3 is our next rack. We're going to keep a lot of equipment in here as well. This will be where our main computers are. So Abacus, 3Play, Expression, and what we call Veronica, which is our actual streaming encoder and computer. So all that'll be here in this Rack 3. The idea is that when you walk in the door, these first 2 racks are where all the equipment is. So an engineer can walk in, they can make patches, they can check statuses, they can see all the equipment, turn it on and off without having to reach underneath a desk, because that just gets annoying to have to turn a computer on and reach under a desk. You'll see here, this has 3 more racks here where we have another table. This table will be really only 1 position planned, and then there'll be an extra position that's kind of an alt position that we can put somebody if we need it. This last position right here is going to be our score bug and dashboard operator. Some people know it as mini board, dashboard, scorebug, whatever you want to call it. This will be where they operate the scorebug from. This will also be an engineering computer for the truck. A lot of those times, that person doesn't need to be there. They can alternate. So an engineer can come in before the game, do their work, and the scorebug can sit here during the game. So we're kind of making one place two positions here. It'll have a key panel here. We'll also have another key panel here for an alternate position if we want to throw another replay spot, another engineer. This will also be where a commercials monitor for the computer will be, so we can get into it as well. So this is the P3 row, and that's the whole entire production area. So 7 total positions now. Several different key panels and a lot of work for installation and wiring. The wiring diagrams are all going to be created in the next few weeks, and then we'll start putting in equipment.
All right, so now we're in the audio room. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown on where we are here. So the audio room originally, you can see the carpeting on the wall right here. This audio room was insulated with multiple layers of acoustical insulation. It was dated. It was colored to a different color that's not our school's colors. So we pulled all of the audio insulation down to the bare wall and then rebuilt it back, which was a major overhaul. So even the ceiling, we pulled the ceiling down, redid the lighting, redid the ductwork, the air vents were originally not located here, so we did a ton of work to get that situated. But now you can kind of see the main audio room area, which is just really a large, what we call an audio bridge rack space above, and then a large table for the audio console, the thing that does the primary mixing. Behind me, we're gonna build another table space, which is going to be for computers, because we're a digital audio operation. So a lot of our routing is done through the network and through digital means instead of analog means. As we come back around on this space back behind the audio engineer, you're going to have a workspace, because the way we operate, I primarily run audio, but I'm also a good position to do troubleshooting on equipment. So it's pretty often that somebody might bring a camera by, might bring a parabolic mic by, might need batteries changed, things like that. So this is going to be kind of a workbench with tool drawers and additional pieces of equipment that we need on a regular basis. So kind of give you an idea of how we operate. They were in a 5.1 surround sound analog system, which meant they had an enormous amount of wires all over the truck. So literally they would use an audio snake that's about an inch diameter to carry 48 wires from here to another spot. And they had numerous bundles of those. Those wires we can run, those 48 wires they have, we can replace with a single digital wire. So the way that we run our system is totally different than the way they did, and it alleviates an enormous amount of audio wires that run everywhere. So on this side of the rack, this is probably going to be our primary I/O and control to patch different things and things like that for our audio room, which is primarily digital. As we move across, you're going to start seeing comms, because we do a lot with comms back here, whether it's counting down commercials or talking to different positions throughout the truck. A big change for us is the audio room is now completely separate from the production room. So we have to use our comms to talk to one another between each room, because we're not in the same room anymore. On the right-hand side, a lot of this is more quality control, checking signals, time clocking. So we're going to use Apogee Big Ben clock to time our entire audio pathway. And then you're going to see some stuff for conversions and things like that over here. As we wrap around, the computer will be used for all that network patching. So we're trying to move towards Dante, which is a network-based way of patching audio. And then that really wraps up the whole design of what the truck's going to look like. So right now you can see empty spots everywhere. It's going to give us a lot of room for storage, and our rack mount equipment, it's going to be really, really nice when we get it cleaned up. So that wraps it up for the truck overview. So hopefully the next time we see it, you're going to start seeing equipment go into these racks.